Good evening, YouTube. This is Darth Vicious. And what am I doing this evening? It is a book review. It is Alexander Freed's Canon novel, Star Wars Battlefront Twilight Company. And before I get to it, I just want to give 2 thumbs up to Alexander Freed. I wasn't sure I was going to enjoy the book, but I enjoyed it thoroughly. Read it in just over 3 days. That in mind, let's get down to it. I'm going to break this review down into 3 parts. First is going to be overall thoughts. Second is going to be my pros. Third is going to be my cons. So with that in mind, overall thoughts. Reading this book was like watching a Star Wars movie. The way it built up. And I absolutely enjoy the Star Wars movies as a whole. So, having said that, that made this book absolutely enjoyable. The characterization in the book was in depth, telling backstories on most of the main characters, and you really got yourselves invested in those characters. That said, I would like to have seen a little less traveling from place to place to place, but with a company like Twilight, which was a mobile infantry unit, I can understand why they did what they did. A couple things that bothered me. A very chalice. Reminded me a lot of past bosses that I've had. Which, tell you one thing, but when they no longer had need of you, tell you something completely different. So, that was one. The other was Namir doubting his resolve, doubting his ability to lead after Howell passed away. Namir was a very competent leader. Was he emotionally invested in the fight at times? No, but he was very emotionally invested in his men and his women. So that was where his self-doubt came in. He wondered if the engagements he led them into were worth the fight or not. So, with that in mind, let's get to the pros. My first pro was the action in the story. The action drove the plot and really made the characters so much stronger. Number 2 on my list of pros was Hazram Namir. He was the consummate professional, consummate soldier. Loved to be in the fight, even when he was the man in charge and was asked to stand and watch the battle from a distance. He'd rather be on the line with his men. And I cannot stress enough how much respect I have for a commander who wants to fight alongside his men. Number 3 on my list of pros was the mention of the Millennium Falcon, Princess Leia, Luke Skywalker, Darth Vader having a plot in the role, or a role in the plot rather. Nien Nunb not only being mentioned, but also having a role in the plot. And really tying in a lot of the characters from the original trilogy. That was awesome. Also, Luke, Leia, the Millennium Falcon, and Nia Nunn having a role in the sequel trilogies, and with that continuing in Star Wars Episode 8. Having said that, number 4 on my list of pros was just how Twilight Company turned a losing fight into eventually helping the rebellion win the Galactic Civil War. They favored the most heavily out of everything mentioned, and that was cool. And in fact, they were the main protagonists of the story. Number 5 on my list of pros was the narrative flow. It, for the most part, was very linear. Yeah, they did take some back story routes to twinge out the main story, but other than that, it was from basically getting your ass kicked to finally kicking the Empire's ass, and it made the book very smooth to read. Now we get to my cons, and first and foremost was Prelate Verge. I didn't like him. He seemed really too much like a combination of Darth Maul and Emperor Palpatine, from my personal opinion. They melded Palpatine, the omnipotent leader, with Darth Maul, the fallible follower, into one character, and that bothered me. Number 2 was Varys Chalice. I just did not like her. I felt her to be too self-centered, too self-oriented, and hiding it to lead Twilight Company into victorious campaigns, but at the end of the day, she was doing it just for her own prestige. That pissed me off. Number 3 was Darth Vader not killing Varys Chalice when he had the chance on Hoth. I wish he would have done that, because that would have saved countless Twilight Company lives, and that really made me doubt Darth Vader's true loyalty to the Empire, at least around the time of Hoth, which was in Star Wars Episode 5, The Empire Strikes Back. And let's see here, number 5 was them ending at the Battle of Sullust. I think they could have carried the story out a little bit longer, had Twilight have a hand in the Endor's campaign or the Jakku campaign, and that would have been cool, seeing the Battle of Jakku mentioned in this story. But with that in mind, I'm going to get to my closing thoughts. I really love this book, and I hope Alexander Freed gets another story to write in the new Star Wars canon, because the guy can flat out write anything. If I had to grade this book, I'd give it an A, a solid A. It had me from the first page that I started reading. And it's a lot more than I can say for Aftermath. Aftermath, I had to read a lot longer. And if you want to hear my Aftermath review, it's on my old channel, DJ Toxic Darkness. So look that up. let's see, what can I add to that? I'm going to be reading Tarkin next, so that'll be my next review. That'll be coming within the next 3 to 4 days, so be looking forward to that. Also, I will be posting some other content coming up real soon, so subscribe to keep in the know when I upload a video. Make sure to leave a thumbs up on this video. Make sure to leave a comment in the section below to tell me what you thought of Star Wars Battlefront Twilight Company. And of course, make sure to tell your friends about this video. And with that in mind, next Friday, I will be posting a review video for the second teaser trailer for Rogue One: A Star Wars Story. So be looking forward to that. Hard to believe, Star Wars Celebration is next weekend also. So make sure to stay tuned on YouTube to watch the Star Wars Celebration from London. Star Wars fans, may the Force be with you always.